Every wholesaler loses deals the same way. A lead comes in, you text them once, maybe twice, they go quiet, you move on. That lead was never dead. You just stopped following up. So I built an AI that does it for me. It texts them, it actually calls them with a real voice, it has the whole conversation and keeps going for months until they either call back or book an appointment with me or truly go cold. I have not touched my follow ups in weeks. Let me show you exactly how it works. What is up, guys? It's Gabe with Nerd Tech. Super excited to show you the details of my AI follow up engine for our real estate CRM and how it's just going to save you loads of time and hopefully make you a whole bunch of money as well. So, I'm in my new leads pipeline stage, and I'll go over more details on how the leads get here and the different automations that happen on this pipeline. But this is my demo account, and we're going to use my Gabe Monroy card here to show you how the leads go through some different places here. But anyways, they start out here on the new leads, and then we're obviously going to qualify them. Once we qualify them, we're going to click into the opportunity, and they're going to go to the active deals. And let's just say we're going to push them into analysis. And analysis is where we're going to do our due diligence. And we can see that they went here when we go to this stage. We're going to check the numbers, make sure everything's working right, make sure this is something we actually want to pursue. But in many times it's not. Or many times after we make our offer, the lead doesn't like the offer, they go cold, they go stale, or maybe they just now's just not the right time. So what we're going to do is what the rest of this video is going to be about. And again, like I said, I'll review all these other steps in future videos, so definitely make sure and subscribe so you see those come out. But I'm going to click into this contact and we're going to set a next follow-up date. If we set a next follow-up date and then we change the stage to, or sorry, we're going to change the pipeline to AI follow-up engine, and then the stage we would change to the AI active follow-up start here. That's where you start, right? Super easy. So if we do that, it's going to then start this follow-up engine on this date. For instance, somebody says, call me in a couple weeks. I'm having a garage sale, want to clean some more stuff out of my house. Boom, set the date. It's going to follow up with them on that context that they tell you, and then we can drop them in there. For this demo, I'm not going to fill out the date. We're just going to drop them into AI active follow up start here, click update, and it's going to go and do its thing, and it's actually going to send a message out immediately, and we'll see that come through and I'll show it to you. But I just really want to tell you how powerful this is, because it's not just sending a message like all other systems. There is a brain behind all this that is going and looking at all the calls, the transcripts, the notes that we've taken, the full conversation history, and it's going to put out a 1 to 2 line perfect text message following up with this contact and exactly where they are in their life. So if they say follow up with me in a couple weeks, I'm having a garage sale, or check in, I'm going to talk to my wife over the weekend, or any of those things, it's going to have all that context, and the message it's going to send is going to say, hey, you had mentioned that you're having a garage sale in a couple weeks, and we're at that time just checking in to see how things are going with your property. And if they say something like, well, you know what, it rained, we weren't able to have the garage sale. So, maybe if you could check in with me in another week or so, I think we're going to try next week. It's going to actually take that check in with me in another week or so, or 2 weeks, whatever they say, turn it into a time, a date, and it's going to say, no problem at all. We'll check in with you in a week or so. Keeps it super casual. It's going to store that internally, and it's going to follow up with them again. And it's going to continue to do this over and over and over indefinitely if they keep telling it a future time or a future time. If now's not right, it's just going to keep following up. Now, they say, now is the right time. I'd like to talk with somebody. We had the garage sale. Everything went awesome. What's the next steps? This is the assistant. It never tries to give offers. It's never going to try to talk price or do anything super important. Its only job is to say, perfect, glad you're ready. Let me pin down a time when we can schedule a call with you and the team. When's good for you? Now, what if they say, let's talk right now? It's going to say, because it doesn't want to promise anything, it's going to say something to the extent of, I'll let them know that you'd like to talk right now, but if for some reason they're busy, when's a good time? I can have them call you back if they have to. So it's going to really pin down that time so you don't have to play phone tag. People have lots of different schedules these days, and we just want to make sure that we're really getting to them when the timing is right for them and when time of day is right for them. So now let's say they're not ready. Well, first of all, I said they're ready. So what happens when they're ready? The bot is actually going to qualify them. It's going to push this lead back to the active deals right here. And then all I have to do is look right here, and only I have to mess with the hot leads of the people that say they're ready. I never actually have to come back to the follow-up engine and check anything at all. Okay. So what happens if they say, you know what? I have no idea what I'm going to sell. I think it's something I want to do in the near future, but let's just stay in touch. The bot's going to say, "Whoa, this is doesn't have any time frame at all. This is a long-term nurture." It's going to automatically move them into long-term nurture. Perfect, right? What if they say they listed it with a realtor? Well, personally, I don't think that's a reason the market is dead. So it's also going to move into long-term nurture, because if their house never sells with a realtor, guess what? They're going to be super motivated and they're going to want to come back to you. So if they respond to those long-term nurture sequences, the bot's going to kick back in. It's going to say it's going to try to schedule that time with the team if they're ready. Or maybe they say, you know what, thanks for staying in touch with me. Probably going to be ready in another couple weeks. It's going to internalize that and follow up perfectly. And again, remember, it has this brain on the back end that sees all the context, so it's never going to forget the conversation. It's always going to have a perfect message when it follows up with them. Now, let's say they say, you know what, you guys are just been following up way too much. I'm really never going to sell my house. Please just stop messaging me. It's going to understand that that is a hard stop, and it's going to move them to dead loss. Obviously, if they say stop to your messages, or scram or anything aggressive, it's also going to move it to dead loss, which is absolutely awesome. So you don't have to worry about paying attention to those messages. Now, here's the awesome part. This doesn't just do text messages, which is what most of the platforms do. We have now built it in to where it'll do voice, and it's very, very good, and it sounds very human realistic. Now, I still don't try to trick people. If they ask, we let them know. I think that's important. But here's the deal. I still personally think text messages are better. People can answer when they're ready. We're not interrupting their day. We're not calling them when they're in the middle of the store or driving or having another conversation with somebody. So I still like text messages first. So what we do is the first 2 days we try with with a text message when we're doing these follow-ups. We try to keep it on that channel. It's always our first priority. But if they never respond, it falls back to a voice call on either the second or third day. I think it's the third day I have it going out. And it will call them. And if they answer, it does the same thing as the chatbot. Now, one thing I've had to engineer here, which is another brain on the back end, with the chatbots, Go High Level did an awesome job with building in the follow up to where it works really well with the texting AI. The voice does not have that, so I've had to engineer that on my own. I've built that out, and now the voice AI can internalize an actual time frame and be able to follow up just like the bots. So they work together. They use the same powerful brain on the back end, so they can communicate with the same type of knowledge. They're both going to see all the context so that they're using the same type of wording and know exactly why they're following up with the lead, which is very, very powerful. They stay in sync with one another. Now, let's say they don't answer the phone call. It's going to leave them a voicemail. How powerful is that? We used to do voicemail drops. Now we don't have to do a voicemail drop. Voicemail drops are dead. Why not just give them a call, and if they don't answer, leave a voicemail? But you know what happens most of the time? We text them, we call them, we leave a voicemail, and then they end up texting us back because it's like several taps on the shoulder. And actually, most people do like texting, but it gets a good response, and that's the goal, right? We just want a response. We want to know, hey, are you ready? You still want to follow up? Is this long term? Is it dead? You just want to know something. Let me tell you something. This is really powerful. This is what got me super hyped and excited about this whole system. We tested this out with one of my buddies who dropped in a few hundred contacts. He was really bad about follow up. And let's be honest, guys, follow up sucks. Like, you've talked with these people, you want to go talk with those new leads, the fresh low hanging fruit. You're after that money. You don't really want to have to do this because 9 times out of 10 they're not ready. So it's just dead in work. He dropped in a couple hundred leads, just stuff he was behind on. And within 24 hours, he had multiple messages coming back of people saying, hey, thanks, stay in touch. So it was working. After a day or two, it had followed up with someone that was actually motivated, landed him a $19,000 wholesale profit. I'm not lying. This is what got me super hyped about this. This is what told me every single person needs this. Look, AI is not perfect, but the goal is you're going to get their attention. And if they're motivated, they're going to say something and they're going to be in our system and we're going to know about it instead of just most people out there. 90% of the wholesalers I talk to, they just have this CRM full of all these leads that they just backed up on and they have no idea where they're at. And it's terrible, guys. Like, you got money sitting there. I know it's painful going through it. I've solved that problem. You need this system. It absolutely works. So, anyways, sorry, I got off on a rant there. I'm just super passionate about this, and I wanted to just give you that little study there that we did that's real life, and it actually did work for us, and it's proved to be very valuable already. So, we've launched this in several of the new client accounts. So far, the feedback's been really, really good. So we are live with it, and I'm super happy about that. So, anyways, we got texting, we got calling, we got it qualifying the lead, we got it sending it back to the active deals pipeline when they're ready. You can just drop it in here and forget it. I dropped my lead in here. I told you we'd show you a test. I did get a text message. I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, but you may not be able to see this very well. Sorry if you can't. It says, "Hey Gabe, you mentioned Tuesday the 23rd is a good day to circle back. Does that still work, or is it another day still better?" Now, keep in mind, this is a test contact I've had in the system. I've done lots of testing with it. So the context of what it's pulling from, that brain is probably going to be very confused because I've told it lots of different things. But the last conversation I had, I think I had told it to check in with me on the 23rd, and I was testing some follow-up sequences. So that's what it's referencing there. So I'm going to text it back. We'll go into my contact here. You can actually see the message here. This is where I should have just showed you. Right here's where it sent that message. So let's just send it a quick message back and say, "Hey, can you check in again next Wednesday? Still working on stuff." All right, so just send a text back. Boom. And there we go. Sends another message. Sounds good. I'll check back with you next Wednesday morning. If you end up ready sooner, just shoot me a message. So there, these little stars over here show that it's active. This down here shows that we have our active or conversation bot, and it shows that it's the follow-up bot. So it's logging this in its memory, and it's going to send me a perfect message. Now, let's see if I can interrupt it here. I'm just going to use my voice to text. "Hey, I know I told you next Tuesday, or I'm sorry, Wednesday, but I decided I'm actually ready to talk now. What's the next steps?" All right, there we go. There's the message that came through. And there we go. The message came through. Awesome. I'll let the team know. "You're ready now. They can reach you right away. What's the best time to give you a call?" So there it's qualifying the time. And look at this right here. How awesome is that? It updated the opportunity automatically, put it in the active deals pipeline. If I come back to the opportunities over here, boom, gone. I'm telling you, I get super excited about this stuff. I nerd out on it. How awesome is that? It's literally controlling our pipelines. It's moving leads. It's literally an AI employee inside of your CRM that's keeping it clean, following up with leads. And now all you got to do is look here. When somebody raises your hand, you'll be able to click in that lead. You'll see the full conversation, and you'll know exactly what to do next. Now it's going to gather the best callback time. Obviously, if I say like after 4, whatnot, it's going to store that in the notes. So if you come into the system and see that, you'll know exactly when to call them back at the right time. This is so much more powerful. I hope I've really hit home on how awesome this is. This thing is never going to go to sleep. It's never going to be tired. It's going to do a perfect job of following up. And I promise you, you are going to get some deals from this. It's going to work. I have no question about that. But this is not a blast either. I wouldn't want to use this on cold leads. Could you? Yes, you're technically not compliant. I would want to encourage you to be compliant. I'd want to encourage you to use this on opt-ins, but I'd prefer you to take it serious with leads who you've already talked with and that have context around it. If you did drop somebody in here that doesn't have any context at all, if it's cold or maybe you just haven't talked with them, it just falls back to a generic message. It's still very good. It's just going to say something like, "Hey, we spoke in the past about your property. Haven't talked to you in a while. How are things coming along? You still looking to sell?" So it's still a very good message like that. But guys, if this is something that you need, which I believe you do, I think this is the world's best system. I'm going to continue to make it better. Also, I push out updates automatically. I offer my support one-on-one when you sign up for me. If this is something that you think you guys need, which I believe you do, the link in the description down below, just sign up. My calendar's down there, and I'm a real person. I'm not AI. I'd love to talk with you and figure out how we can get this in your account. So have a good week, guys.